What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of High Mythology, the show where I get higher than your crow brother-in-law perched up on a birch, and we tell you guys silly stories from mythology and folklore. Tonight, we will be bringing you the story of Maria Morevna from Russia, straight from the motherland.
Old school.
Old school.
And the virgin version. But
Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. It's also known as the death of Koschei The Deathless. Some other versions of it. So,
yeah.
I hope you enjoy it. Without further ado, Kimbo, go ahead and kick it off.
Sweet. Far beyond the blue sea ocean, beyond the void places, in a city set in the midst of a pleasant meadow, there lived a Tsarevich. Prince dude.
Prince.
Whose name was Alexis. And he had three sisters. Three sisters. Anna, Olga, and Helena. Their mother had been long dead, and when it came time for their father's time to die, he called out to his Tsarevich son and put the three sisters in his care. He said to him,
"Heed me, my son, my counsel and command. Do not keep your sisters over long, nor delay their marriage. Whoever asks to wed any of them, consent. If she consents, give her to be wed. But only if she consents."
That's so nice.
Yeah, as you don't get a lot of that in the ancient stories.
Nope.
Not a lot of talk of consent in the old writings.
So their father died and was buried. And the prince and his sisters sorrowed, and when time had passed, and it dulled their grief.
Grief was dull.
Before the palace, there was a fenced garden, where in the cool of the day they used to walk together, and often, as they walked, the prince and his sisters would recall their father's word and say to one another, "So, I wonder which one of us is first gonna be wed. Oh my god.
Oh my god. OMG.
What kind of lover are we gonna get?
Ah. Calm down, ladies.
One day, as they strolled under the green trees, plucking red poppies, getting high
on them poppies,
a great black cloud, black as ink, shaped like a hawk, suddenly arose in the sky. The prince said to his sisters,
"Let us hasten indoors, sisters, for a dreadful storm is about to break."
What the fuck? They quickened their steps, and just as they entered the palace, a crash of thunder sounded, and the roof split into two, and a bright hawk came flying in. It alighted on the floor, and was instantly transformed into a handsome youth.
Yeah. Smooth.
Oh, he says to Alexis, the crow, or the bird.
The hawk.
The hawk.
Yeah.
The hawk says to Alexis,
"Greetings, Tsarevich Alexis. I came to this land as a tourist, but now I am back as a suitor. I would like to bang your sister Anna, please."
To this, the prince replies,
"It's up to you, sister. What do you say? Do you want to marry a bird?" Yeah.
So comely was the youth that Anna...
What?
Sorry. So comely was the youth that Anna at once agreed, in the same day that they were married, and set out for the hawk's tsardom. And it's no wonder, because he looked like fucking Orlando Bloom. In his Legolas prime, of course.
Yeah. Young Orlando Bloom as the hawk.
It's hard to look at him now that he's with Katie. I'm like, she's fucking successful too. I can't hate that.
She's successful too.
I can't hate that. So, hours grew into days, and days ran swiftly after one another until a year had passed and vanished, as if it had never been. Again, one day, the Prince Alexis went walking with his two sisters in the greenly garden, and again there rose up in the sky a cloud like a huge black eagle with white lightnings flashing across it. The prince says to his little sisters,
"Let us seek shelter. A terrible whirlwind is rising."
So they hurried to the palace, and they entered it, and a thunder roared, and the ceiling split in two, and into the gap came flying an eagle.
Twice they've had their ceiling just shattered. Yeah. Why don't you use the door, bird?
Come on now.
Come on. There's windows for that.
It alighted on the floor and instantly turned into a comely youth. The eagle says to Alexis,
"Health to thee, Tsarevich Alexis. I have come to this land as a visitor, but now I am here to woo. Let me marry your sister Olga, who I have never met."
When he screeched, if he's an eagle.
Not now, he's a comely youth.
The prince says to the eagle,
"If she so wills it, who am I to say no? Sister, what do you think?"
The hawk had been well favored, but the eagle was more handsome, like a Kit Harington style.
Yeah, upgrading through the years here, ladies.
And Olga lost no time in accepting him. The same day the marriage was performed, and the eagle took her away to his own country. Another year passed swiftly, and one day the prince says to his little sister,
"Come, little sister, let us walk in the garden and refresh ourselves."
Shit.
I'm feeling so unrefreshed.
That's weird. As they strolled amongst its flowers, again there rose a cloud shaped like a great black crow. And the prince says to his little sister,
"Quick, run to the palace. It's a twister."
And so they did. But before they had time to sit down, there came a terrific clap of thunder, and the ceiling split open, and into the room flew a crow. As it alighted, it became a graceful youth. Like that guy that's Prince Caspian.
Prince Caspian. Punisher guy. What was the new thing? What was the new?
Oh, he's in
what was the new
Shadow
show
and
you
Bones.
just watched?
That's it.
That's the guy you're looking for.
Fucking hot. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit.
The crow says to Alexis,
"Long ago I came through your country on vacation. Now I come to marry. Let me get with your sister Helena."
Oh, shit.
He's that smooth. He made you lose your place.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the prince says to the crow,
"That's between you and her. I don't make her decisions, bro."
And the hawk and the eagle had been handsome, but the crow was even more brilliant and splendid than they.
Sexy fucking crow.
And Helena agreed without delay. The marriage took place at once, and the crow set out with his bride for his own tsardom. Alexis was left in solitary and was sad and lonely when a whole year had passed without a sight or sound of his sisters. He says to himself,
"I should go check on my sisters and see how they fare."
So he called for his best horse and rode out into the white world. He rode one day, and then 2, and then 3, until he came across a plain where a numerous army and weapons broken and scattered lay dead and dying. Sitting on his horse, he cried aloud,
"If anyone is left alive here, let him answer me. Who fucked all of you guys up?"
And one man whose life was yet done replied to him,
Well, that'd be Maria Morevna, daughter of 3 mothers, granddaughter of 6 grandmas, and sister to 9 brothers. The beautiful Tsar's daughter.
And was saying that he died.
Oh,
Oof.
I do declare.
Just had to let people know. This is what it was. Don't let my voice.
It was.
My name is this. He doesn't even want to fucking.
He doesn't even want to say what it is. I just gotta answer your question real quick before I die, young one.
Prince Alexis rode on, until at length he came to a multitude of white tents pitched by the way, from the finest and which of the loveliest, Maria Morevna?
Maria Morevna. Morevna.
That was Morevna.
Morevna.
Came forth to greet him.
Greetings.
Sup, baby? Where you heading? Is it, by your will or against it?
Brave men ride nowhere against their will. And I am super brave. Oh, did you hear that? Oh my God. I'm super brave. Super strong, too.
The beautiful Caesar's daughter was pleased with the answer and says, well, if his business not be pressing, why don't you stay a bit as my guest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I guess. Stay gentle.
The Prince Alexis, nothing loath, dismounted and remained the guest of Maria Morevna. And before the 2 days had passed, they had fallen deeply in love with one another.
And she very clearly wears the pants in the relationship,
definitely.
Too. Yeah. He's living in her castle, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. So she took him with her to her maiden palace, where they were married with great rejoicing. And there they lived for many months together in happiness.
So much rejoicing. Woo! Someone's finally bagging the queen.
Maria Morevna was a warrior, and at the end of this time befell a rebellion on her border. So she called together an army, and leaving Alexis in charge of her palace, rode to fight.
Bitch, hold my purse.
That's exactly what she says.
Yeah.
Bitch, hold my purse.
Yeah.
Guard the rule of all things here. Whatever you fucking do, just don't open that goddamn closet up there in the bedroom. Inside my inner chamber.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you stay the fuck out, bitch. If I catch you in there, you're a fucking dead man.
I would go with you, but I'm not really suited for battle.
The prince promised to obey her command, but she had not gone far and on her way before his curiosity overmastered him. He went to the inner chamber, unlocked and opened the closet door, and there he saw an old man He's got a
huge old man wiener.
Hanging from a beam, fettering with 12 rivet iron chains. He said, or the prince asked,
who the fuck are you?
The old man replied,
I am Koschei the Wizard. I was imprisoned by the father of Maria Morevna long ago. I have suffered horrible tortures for the last 10 years. I beg of you, have mercy, good youth, and bring me some water.
And so the prince pitied the wizard. He thought to himself,
a little bit of water couldn't hurt.
So he went and fetched a jug. The wizard took it in a single gulp. But the wizard continues to say,
My thirst is too great for one drought to fix. I beg of you, please, bring me another to drink. And when danger threatens, I will save you from death.
So the Alexis brought a second jugful, and this also Koschei drank at a draught. Koschei begged one more time.
In mercy, I beg of you, give me but one more, and again I will give thee life, when you would otherwise perish.
And so the prince brought him a third jugful, but when Koschei also drank it at a draught, as soon as he had swallowed it, all of the wizard's former strength returned. He strained at the 12 chains and broke them asunder like rotten rope.
Flex and break out of it.
Koschei says to him,
My thanks, Tsarevich. You are as likely now to see a Maria Morevna again as you are your own ears.
And with that he flew out the window in a whirlwind, overtook the beautiful Tsar's daughter, and on her way to the war, seized her from the midst of her army and carried her away across 3 times 9 tsardoms and to his own land.
Yeah.
Wow.
He just scooped her up. Yeah.
While she's in the middle of going to a rebellion war.
Well, also, the way they make it sound, I imagine he waited like 10 minutes after she was gone, and he's like, well, I'm bored. I might as well open that door.
He probably did. Piece of shit. Prince Alexis, seeing the misfortune his disobedience had wrought, wept bitterly and long.
No. Oh, boo.
At length, he wiped away his tears, and saying to himself,
no matter what befalls me, I shall not return without Maria Morevna by my side.
And so he sets out across 3 times 9 tsardoms. He rode 1 day, and then 2, and at dawn on the 3rd day he came to a beautiful palace of white stone whose roof shone like a rainbow. Before the palace stood an oak tree, and on the topmost branch was perched a hawk.
Hawk!
As soon as it saw him, the hawk flew down from the tree,
Hawk!
alighted on the ground, and became a handsome youth.
Oh!
He cries, the Orlando Bloom-looking dude.
Welcome, brother-in-law. How have you been these past 3 years?
The next moment, his sister Anna comes running from the palace and, kissing her brother, begins to ask him many questions and to tell him what has befallen him. So Alexis spent 3 days with them, and at the end of which all the time he said,
I can stay no longer. I must go in search of my wife.
His brother-in-law, the hawk, answered,
it is a far journey. Leave us with your silver spoon, so we will have something to look on and remember you by.
And so the prince left with him the silver spoon and then rode on. He rode 1 day, and then 2, and on the 3rd, at daybreak, he came to a palace of gray marble, even finer than the hawk's, whose roof was mother of pearl. Before it grew a fir tree, and on the tree perched an eagle. And as soon as he saw the prince, he flew down, alighted, and became a comely young man. Kit Harington.
Ha-ha!
He cries out to his brother.
Hasten, wife! Our brother approaches!
Oh.
Ha-ha!
Ha-ha! Sorry. Then his sister Olga came running from the palace, kissed and embraced her brother, and began to ply him with questions. On the second 3 days, Prince Alexis spent the time with them and said,
farewell, fam. I go now in search of the Tsar's hot daughter.
To this the eagle replies,
it is many versts to the castle of Koschei the Deathless. What will you leave for us to remember you by? Leave me with your silver fork, maybe?
Why do they want my fucking dining set?
And now I can't even eat my beans anymore, because I don't have silverware.
So Alexis left them with the silver fork and rode away. A first day he rode, and then a second, and then a third, and at sunup he found himself approaching the 3rd palace of Propere. You see that?
Porphyry.
I don't know, it was a decked out fucking golden tiles, larger and more elegant than the hawks and the eagles put together.
The crow knows how to pick up the best shinies. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, they pick up the shinies real good.
They pick up the shinies real good.
Prince Caspian, motherfucker.
Yeah. I love how tight he is with his brother-in-laws for only having met them and partied with them that one time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like every time they show up, it's like they're his best friend that they haven't seen in forever. My long-lost brother, how have you been? Tell me about your life. What is new? Everything. I've never talked to you very much before. You just showed up and swooped away with my sister.
Yeah. You hung out with us for one night.
One night, yeah.
One night, bro.
Yeah.
In front of the palace stood a birch tree, in which sat a crow, and the crow flew down, alighted the ground, and was transformed into a graceful youth. I reread my whole life.
Ha ha! Thanks for the setup there. Come quick, Helena.
Thank you.
Our brother is here.
Oh, wait, was that where it was?
I believe so. Crow swoops down,
I
right?
didn't. Okay. His sister Helena came running from the palace and met her brother joyfully, embracing him with many questions. And with
no
them,
kisses from this one, only questions.
Yep.
So what the fuck are you doing
Where
here?
Where the fuck were you?
Yeah.
With them, also, the prince abode 3 days with them. And when he bade them farewell to continue his search for his wife. The crow says,
Your search may be in vain. The Wizard Koschei is very cunning. Leave us your silver snuff box for us to remember you by. Let me get that snuff box, baby. Daddy wants the snuff box. His sister's just sitting. This is what I have to deal with all the time, and he only eats worms.
And so Alexis left behind the silver snuff box, and again set out. Whether he rode long ways or short ways, by wet roads or dry, he came at last to the castle of Koschei.
You know, whichever best suits your story.
I don't know which one you really want.
If it was wet, if it was dry, it might have been like a week. It might have been like 15 minutes away.
Could have been months. Whatever.
Koschei was actually the crow's neighbor.
Wherein walking in the garden of Koschei's castle, he found his dear one, Maria Morevna. And when she saw him, the beautiful Tsar's daughter threw herself on his breast, weeping a flood of tears. Oh, my love. Why did you fucking disobey my command? Why did you open the fucking closet and loose the wizard on our hurt?
My bad. Let's not dwell on the past, though. Instead, let's get the fuck out of here while Koschei's gone. He scares me.
And so, without more ado, he took her up before him on the saddle and put his good steed at its best pace. Now, that day the wizard had gone hunting. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun!
Yeah, he went hunting.
But what was he hunting for? Radishes. He's actually a vegetarian. That's how I remain deathless.
Toward the evening, he rode back to his castle, when suddenly his horse stumbled underneath him. Therit? Whatever.
Thereat. He raided...
Is that the horse's name?
I think it's one of those Shakespearean terms. Thereat thou this thine thither.
Oh, whatever the horse fucking says to him.
Doth he hither.
Or no, I guess.
Why are you stumbling, you sorry nag? Have you not been fed, or do you feel some misfortune?
To this the horse replies,
Master, I feel a disturbance. I think someone done run off with Maria.
The wizard demanded to know.
Well, can you catch up to them?
And the horse replies,
You could plant a field of wheat, then watch it grow, then harvest and thresh it, then grind the grains into flour, then take that flour and bake a nice loaf of bread, then let that bread cool, then slice the bread. Then you could cook that sliced bread to make it into toast. Then you could take that toast and make yourself a nice sandwich. Then you could eat the sandwich. And then I could still overtake him.
Wow. So Koschei put his horse to a gallop and easily overtook Prince Alexis.
I wish we hadn't wasted that time on that whole explanation, but...
Koschei says to Alexis, I think.
Well. Remember when I promised to save your life for the drink of water? This is one, Alexis.
Okay. Sorry, because you changed all the writing.
I changed it very much.
Then, taking Maria from him, he returned to his castle, leaving the prince weeping. Alexis wept a long time.
Oh, God.
Fucking a long time.
Oh, but I just want to lay here and cry.
But the weeping was of no avail, and at length he dried his tears.
Go fucking figure.
And at daybreak on the morrow rode again for the wizard's castle. Koschei was once more gone hunting, and the prince, finding Maria Morevna in the garden, said,
"Come, mount with me, and we can ride away from here together."
God damn it. We would, bitch. But the fucking wizard will overtake us, and I fear he will fucking kill you.
Well, at least we'll have a little bit of time together. Right. I'm a brave prince. I can stop him.
Okay, so that was Alexis. And he just takes her up before him and then puts the spurs into his steed. Takes off. Poor fucking horse.
We're off!
It's been running this whole time.
Yeah. No, it had hours to just stand there while fucking Alexis laid on the side of the road crying.
In the evening, Koschei returned from his hunt. And as he neared his castle, his horse staggered. The Koschei says to his horse.
Oh, yeah. What is the problem now, you wretched mongrel? Are you underfed, or do you sense something foul?
To this the horse replies,
"What do you think? Alexis is taken up with Maria again."
The wizard demands to know,
"Can you catch up to them?"
To this the horse replies,
"You could plant a field of barley. Then you could watch the barley grow. Then take all of the barley and use it to brew a beer. Then you could drink a bunch of the beer. Then you could go do karaoke maybe. Then you could go out and eat tacos at 2 a.m. Then you could go home and pass out with your shoes on. Then you could wake up in the morning wondering what happened to you. Then you could waste half the day being hungover. Then you could decide the best way to feel better is just start drinking. Then you could go out." "Enough, I get the point. Just take us there."
The wizard puts his horse to a gallop and before long overtook the Prince Alexis. The wizard says to him,
"Did I not tell you that you would sooner see your own ears than to have your wife back? This is number 2, and if I see you again, you are dead." Bum, bum, bum.
And after saying this, he took Maria and rode back to his castle, leaving the poor prince weeping bitter tears. Bitterly. This day was also the wizard.
He's by far the bravest warrior prince we've seen in any of our mythology stories. That's literally that's his thing.
He's crying.
Is he gonna fight? Is he gonna fight 1,000 fucking orcs?
Oh, shit.
No, he's gonna go cry somewhere. Tsarevich Jerry.
Wow. Tsarevich. So Prince Alexis wept until his weeping was ended.
He wept until he was out of weeping.
And when the next day dawned, and for the 3rd time he rode to Koschei's castle. This day also the wizard was absent, and he found Maria and begged her to mount and fly with him. I mean, I would, but this time he's not gonna fucking, help. You're done.
You're done.
Don't even.
Don't even.
But the prince answered back.
If I cannot live with you, I shouldn't live at all.
And so he prevailed and prevailed on her and took her up before him and spurred away.
Let me prevail on you real quick.
When the evening had come, Koschei rode home from his hunting.
The evening wasn't the only thing.
Hey. And as he neared his castle, his horse began to sway from side to side. He shouted at his horse.
What now, you dawdling cob? Do you lack fodder? Or do you perceive some calamity?
To this the horse replies.
Once again, Alexis is taken up with Maria.
He demands to know.
Now keep it simple. Yes or no. Can you catch them?
And the horse replies.
You could sow a measure of flax. Then, nope, don't need the rundown. Just fucking take us there.
So Koschei made him gallop and at length overtook the Tsarevich. Koschei says to Alexis.
Then this one? I think I did.
This right here.
Oh, yes. Twice I gave thee thy life, but this third time thou shalt die.
Wow. He killed his horse with a blow of his sword and dragged the prince to the castle, put him in a cask barred and hooped with iron, and then threw the cask into the ocean sea. When Maria again, he now took to himself. Wow. Now, the hawk and the eagle and the crow used to often look at the silver spoon, fork, and snuff box, and wonder how their brother-in-law fared in his search. One day, looking, they saw that 3 pieces of silver were turning black, and they said to themselves,
Our brother's life is in peril. Quick, bird avengers, flock! Caw!
The hawk flew at once to the eagle, and they together sought out the crow. Having made their plan, the crow flew to the west, the eagle flew to the east, and the hawk flew to the north. And after searching all day, they met together to confer. The hawk remarks,
I saw only a group of crows flying south.
To this the crow says,
I talked to them. They're good dudes. They said they say something. They saw something floating on the sea.
And then eagle says,
I saw that. It was a barrel with some metal on it. Should we go investigate?
Hawk says,
Brothers, let us go at once. Caw!
And so they flew together where the castle or the cask float. Castle floating. I like little actors.
Castle floats.
They pulled it to shore and with their sharp beaks and claws picked and tore it apart.
Peck,
In it, to their delight, they found their brother-in-law, the prince, safe and well. He'd been in there for like 2 days.
Yeah, he's just floating. He's a pretty nice guy. He made sure it floats, and he left me with a bunch of food in here. It's a bunch of radishes. Turns out he's a vegan.
He told them all that what had befallen him, and begged for their counsel. When they had consulted together, the crow said,
Here is our advice. Koschei's horse is faster than any other horse alive. So no matter what you do, he will catch you. Find out where he got his horse from, and maybe you can get one of your own. Ha ha ha.
So he needs a fast-ass horse.
You need a fast-ass horse, man.
Alexis, having thanked them, set out again afoot for the castle of the wizard, and where Maria Morevna wept tears of joy that he was still alive, and to her he said,
Find out if you can where Koschei gets his horse, but only if you can. No real pressure or anything. And then tell me tomorrow.
And so with that, the beautiful Tsar's daughter said to Koschei, of all the things Well, you're such a wise wizard. Like, maybe you can tell me where was your horse fucking bred? Need some stocks? Can you tell me some fucking shit? What's its birth certificate?
Well, because I'm so easily swayed and you're talking to me like I'm smooth now, on a distant shore across the sea, there is a meadow, and on this meadow grazes a wonderful mare. 12 hay cutters reap the grass, and as many more with rakes turn it. She walks behind them, devouring the grass. When she bathes the sea rises, and when she rubs her side against oak trees, they fall over. Every month she brings forth a fowl, and 12 fierce wolves follow her, ready to eat it as soon as it comes out. Every 3 years she births a colt with a white star on its forehead. Whoever catches it, fights off the wolves, and brings it to safety will have a steed like mine.
Holy shit.
That's a pretty complicated way to get a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got this horse that way?
No, not at all. Across 3 times 9 lands in the 13th Tsardom, across the River of Fire, there lives a Baba Yaga. She follows the mare around, snatching up all the colts as they come out. I once went to her hut and stayed with her for 3 nights, doing stable work and sexual stuff. And when I was done, she gave me the horse as a gift.
Wow.
And you never look a gift horse in the mouth.
But how did you by chance cross the River of Fire?
Oh, as to that, while I'm revealing all of my secrets, I have a chest. I have in my chest a handkerchief. I only have to wave it 3 times and a bridge will appear and take me over the flames.
You didn't highlight it. Maria Morevna listened attentively, and when Koschei was asleep, she took the fine handkerchief from his chest, brought it to the Prince Alexis, and told him all the wizard had said.
Yeah, he liked.
So I'm not going to fucking repeat that.
Yeah.
The prince hastened away, crossed 3 times 9 countries, and in on the 13th Tsardom came to the River of Fire. By means of magic handkerchief, he crossed it and went on to find the old Baba Yaga.
Handkerchief powers go.
He walked 1 day, 2 days, and on the 3rd day without either food or drink. When he was like to die from hunger, he came upon a bird with her fledglings. Fledglings. One of these he caught, and with the mother bird flying near, said,
"Sweet, sweet savage, please don't eat my baby. I will come to help you someday if you spare him. Sweet, sweet, sweet."
Wow. And the prince let the fledgling go. And as soon thereafter, in the forest, he found a wild bee hive. Wild bees. Hive.
Wild bees hive.
He was about to eat the honey when the queen bee said, "Bzz, do not think of honey. Since it's food for my subjects, leave it to me, and one day in return I will serve thee a service." Oh. The prince left the honey and went on until he came to the sea ocean. And on the sand he caught a crayfish. And when he was about to eat it, however, the crayfish begged for its life.
"Hey, throw me back, and I will do you a solid someday."
And so he let the crayfish go, and also went on his way, so tired and hungry that he could scarcely crawl. Whether he went a long way or a short way, he came at length at daybreak in a forest to the hut of the old Baba Yaga. Hey!
Yeah.
Turning around and round on hen's legs. About the hut were planted 12 poles, and on the tops were 11 men's heads. but the 12th had none.
None.
As Prince Alexis drew near, he said,
"Health to you, Grandma."
No.
No. Oh, yeah, that one. Little hun, stand the way your mother placed thee, with your back to the woods and your face to me.
And when the hut stood still facing him, he climbed up one of the hen's legs and entered. Not knocking.
Not knocking.
Just
you don't knock on Baba Yaga's door.
Walk right fucking in, bro. That's like fucking rude.
Yeah.
That is rude. You do not just walk into people's houses. I lost my place because I'm annoyed by that.
Let's pause real quick.
No, you're really... inside laid the old witch on her stove, snoring. The prince woke her and said,
"Health to you, Grandma."
And she replied,
Oh, health to you as well, honey. What's brought you all the way out here to my quaint little chicken cabin?
Alexis replies,
Oh, sorry. Are you looking for work or just for a good time? Because I can provide both, baby.
To this, Alexis replies,
Both? I want to work as your stable hand and earn a horse in payment.
Wow. To this, Baba Yaga replies,
Oh, of course you do, honey. Everybody wants to work for Baba. It's because I only make you work for 3 days instead of a whole year, and I always pay you very well. I'll let you work for me. But if one of my horses gets hurt in any way, I'm putting your head on my fence, and I mean that literally, so watch your shit, big boy.
Prince Alexis agreed, and the old witch gave him food and drink and ordered him to take her mares to the open field. He opened a stockade, but the instant the mares were free, they whisked their tails and galloped off in different directions, and so that they disappeared before he had scarce time to lift his eyes. When the prince began to weep and to laminate, he sat down on a stone and, after weeping for a long time, fell asleep. When the sun was setting, a bird woke him and pecked at his sleeve. He said to Alexis,
"Get up there, bitch, Alexis. Tweet, tweet, tweet. I put all those horses back for you. Thanks for not eating my son. Bing."
Wow, this is like some fucking Snow White shit, dude.
I know, it is very fucking Disney. Somebody needs to cut off somebody's head right now.
He thanked the bird and went back to the witch's hut, where Baba Yaga was shouting at her horses.
She said, that's a big-ass bird in the picture, too.
Yeah. She said, well, it's got to be able to wrangle all the horses.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, God, that thing killed some horses.
Baba says, yelling at her horses,
"Why did all of you come back? I thought I told you to fucking stay out there."
To this, the horse replies,
"We ran out like you said, but then a flock of birds came and started pecking at our eyes."
To this, Baba Yaga replies,
"Well, tomorrow, when I let you out, you scatter through the thick of the forest instead of going through that stupid meadow."
Prince Alexis slept soundly, and in the morning, the old witch sent him out again. He opened the stockade, but as the moment they were out, the mares switched their tails and set off running into the pathless woods. And again, the prince sat down on a stone and wept until he soon went to sleep. The worst prince ever.
I can't even wrangle a horse.
Scarce, however.
That's a secret move. What's your secret move? Crying and pissing myself a little bit.
The sun was about to be set, and behind the trees, then a great bee came buzzing and woke him and said, "Bzzz, hasten, Prince Alexis. The mares are in their stockade, and thou have repaid thee for leaving my honey fucking alone."
Yeah.
He thanked the bee and returned to the hut. where he found Baba Yaga again, scolding the she horses for returning. She yelled at them.
Well, tomorrow, instead of the fucking forest, I want you... Oh, I got way ahead of myself. I'm sorry, horses. Now, you be sure... No.
How could we help it?
Oh, yeah.
Or the horse.
It's the horses.
Oh,
That's
the
why
horse,
I got
sorry.
misled. Ha ha. What
I
else
said
were
wrong.
we to do? It was bees. Fucking bees. They chased us all the way back here. Well,
Yeah.
well, tomorrow, instead of the forest or the meadow, I want you to swim out to the middle of the fucking sea. How's that sound?
What the fuck?
With your horse legs.
Again.
I hope you see horses.
Again, Prince Alexis slept soundly. And the next morning came the witch and sent him on a third time to graze her mares, saying,
Make sure all of my horses are back by sunset, or else I'll cook you a nice dinner. No, just kidding. I'll put your fucking head on my fence.
He loosed the mares from the stockade, but scarce were they outside when they flirted their tails, galloping into the blue ocean sea, plunged into the waters up to the necks, and swam until they were lost to view. And the prince, for a third time, sat down on the stone to weep and fell asleep.
I'll use my secret superpower of crying until I take a nap.
When the sun was low, he woke to find the crayfish nipping at his finger.
Yo, Tsarevich, wake up! I put all the horses back in their stables. Thanks for not eating me. Word of advice. Don't go back to the witch. Instead, go to the back of the stable. You'll find a shabby-ass horse that drags its back legs. At midnight, take that horse and ride for your homeland.
Interesting that the crayfish would know this.
The crayfish is intelligent.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they never get enough credit in stories.
The prince thanked the crayfish and went to the back of the hut to hide himself behind the manger.
Manger.
Sorry. I was like, I don't know why I saw an A in there. And as soon as he heard Baba Yaga ranting at her she horses for returning, they answered,
No way we were going to stay in the water. There were a bunch of crayfish. Those things fucking creep me out. Nay, I say, nay.
I fucking lost my voice.
No?
No, I'm not down here.
Haha.
Cha-cha. Cha-cha.
Cha-cha. I know,
because I can't read it as fast and going across.
I did some
stuff. All right. So the old witch waited and waited for the prince's return, but at length she fell asleep. At midnight, he saddled the shabby colt, led him from the stable, and made his way to the river of fire, He waved the wizard's handkerchief 3 times to his right side. And a strong high bridge sprang from bank to bank. He led his colt across it and waved the handkerchief twice to his left side.
Beep, 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 beep.
The fuck is all this weird shit, dude?
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't even carry a sword.
And then the bridge sank and became thin and narrow, till it was but 1/3 of the height and 1/3 of its strength. Now at daybreak, the Baba Yaga woke, missed the colt from her stable. She at once sprang into her iron motor and started in pursuit, driving with her iron pestle and sweeping away the trail behind her with a kitchen broom.
Oh, I'm coming after you, but I'm keeping it clean.
At least she's conscious about it.
Yeah. That's the most clean form of transportation ever.
She came to the river of fire and, seeing the bridge, started to cross it. But she had scarce come to the middle when it gave way, and the old witch, falling into the flaming stream beneath, met her instant death. Damn.
Yeah.
As for the prince, Alexis, he grazed his colt 12 mornings at sunrise on the green meadows, and it became a horse fit for a hero to ride. Then, mounting it, he galloped back to...
Too bad it's only got Alexis. So, horse fit for a hero. I'm a hero, right?
I didn't think about that. That's his words, man. It's words.
Yeah.
So he hopped back on his horse and headed for Koschei's wizard's castle. He found Maria Morevna and said to her,
"Hurry up, hop on my horse. It's as fast as Koschei's. Let's bounce."
And so he took her on the saddle and rode off at full speed. In the evening, the wizard returned, and as he neared his castle, his horse fell upon one knee. He yelled at his horse,
"What is it now, you dwaddling bag of bones? Are you starved to move, or do you sense some mishap?"
To this the horse replies,
"Definitely mishap. Alexis was taken off with Maria again."
Koschei demands to know,
"Without going on a long rant, can you overtake them?"
To this the horse replies,
"I don't think I can. I don't think I can. He has a new horse. It's my youngest brother."
The wizard put his horse at its best pace and galloped in pursuit. Whether he rode a long way or a short way, by rough roads or by smooth, at length he overtook them and lifted his sword to cut Prince Alexis in pieces.
Pieces.
And at that moment, the horse the prince rode cried to the other,
"Brother, why do you let that asshole ride you? Throw him from his back and beat the shit out of him with your hooves."
And the horse of Koschei heard the counsel of his brother, threw his rider on the ground, and lashed out with all of his hoofs so cruelly
"Put your dukes up!"
that the wizard was forced to crawl back to his castle on all fours.
No.
Then Prince Alexis mounted Koschei's horse, setting Maria on his own, and rode to visit his brothers-in-laws, the hawk, the eagle, and the crow.
Aww.
And
Family.
at each of the 3 palaces they were received with rejoicing. They said to Maria, or their brother, I can't tell.
"You got your wife back. I see you didn't make it all that trouble for nothing. Your wife is super hot."
They kept saying it doesn't tell me who's the next one that says that. Oh, these must be 2 different ones. Sorry. Hang on.
No, that's pretty much it.
Whatever. And when the visits and the feastings were ended, they rode back to the prince's own tsardom and lived happily together always and got all good things. That is literally what it says. And got all good things.
They got all good things.
That's the end. That's the virgin version.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna take a minute to talk about Koschei the Deathless and how that ended in some of the older versions, like the OG at the death of the Deathless, the death of Koschei the Deathless. Because Koschei in the OG was the original. I'm pretty sure he was the basis for fucking what's his name, Harry Potter, Voldemort.
Oh yeah.
Because he became immortal by taking his soul and putting it inside. And I don't have all the objects. I don't have my it on hand. But he took his soul and put it inside of an object,
like
of an
8
object.
Russian dolls,
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, but it was like an egg inside of a duck, inside of a whale, inside of a fucking... And they basically went... and that one, Ivan,
Wow.
It wasn't even Alexis. His name was... The Tsarevich, his name was Ivan. And he was way more of a badass. He went through all of that and got all of them, and then showed up and crushed the egg in front of Koschei and killed him.
That's, to me, is probably the original.
Yeah. And then the other one that I liked even more was the version where they couldn't kill him. and I'm pretty sure he was Ivan in that one also. He managed to get stuff and go fight him instead of just trying to run away with her. And he couldn't kill him, so he cut him up into pieces. And they scattered his, they sunk his feet and legs to the bottom of the sea and put his head and torso in separate casks and sent them out to the sea, and then his arms and hands were buried across the land.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because he was the Deathless. He was still alive.
I mean,
so it was always, if you
weird.
reattached him, he would come back.
Like the Blood Queen from that one.
And they exactly. And they even finish it with like, but we know one day his parts will manage to be reattached, and Koschei will be a problem for the future. Like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucked, dude.
Yeah. Beware Koschei, guys. Beware Koschei the Deathless.
You see his body in a casket, you fucking throw it back in the sea.
Exactly. Yeah. Or call the police, probably.
Yeah,
See a head or a body in a casket.
Yeah,
probably call the police.
Definitely
but if it's still alive and talking to you, definitely throw it back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the moral of the story.
I don't think
I just think that's all the moral of the story, but it could be. And that's the point. Yeah. Hope you folks enjoyed this. This was recorded by Alexander Afransiev.
Afanashvili.
Alexander
Afanashvili. Russian Fairy Tales. It's a book.
Yeah, Russian Fairy Tales. Let's show you guys. These guys are awesome. It's straight old school. They let us. We can read right from the book, so it's beautiful. I love people who encourage getting history and mythology and folklore just out
there.
Because that's where it belongs. You know?
Like
make your money on it, but don't bogart it.
For real.
Disney.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That one's the worst one.
That is. Yeah. Hope you folks enjoyed the episode, as I just said. Check out this week's Saturday short. It's going to be a super fun one. It's called Loki's Flighting, or the Roast of Asgard, and it's we got Still Jeff on the music for that one, and it came out pretty solid. It's pretty much just 30 minutes of Loki dissing every fucking god at Asgard. So worth a listen, worth a like. Yeah.
Right. So like, comment, share.
Yeah. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you can comment wherever you listen to this.
Yeah.
If not, find us at Howley Boys on Twitter. Yeah.
Facebook too, I think.
Facebook too.
Howley Boys Productions.
Howley Boys Productions. Yeah. Let us know what you think.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.